UFC 294, the lightweight championship bout, the champion versus champion Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski, the number 1 pound for pound versus number 3 pound for pound. The rematch is on, and the UFC fighters has given their predictions and some picks, and some has given their analysis on Islam versus Volkanovski rematch. The first fighter, we'll take a look at it, at what he has to say about Islam versus Volk. So the first fighter I'm talking about is Belal Muhammad. So we'll start it from Belal Muhammad.
To me, Islam's the best fighter in the UFC right now. Skill for skill, I think he's pound for pound number 1. When you're talking strength, striking, which he showed a lot of in the fight against Oliveira, was dominating people with striking, and Islam beating the striking department, then took him down and finished them on the ground. The guy with the most submissions in UFC history got finished by Islam. I just told you, man, he's different.
Volkanovski is obviously the pound-for-pound champ, but people don't understand how good Islam is. Islam is just different, man. I think he's going to be he's definitely going to be a Hall of Famer at the end of the day. I think he's going to be a champion, long-reigning champion for a while.
Robert Whittaker has also spoken about this match between Makhachev and Volkanovski, the rematch, and this time Robert Whittaker was on his YouTube channel where he talked about it, his reaction and everything. Was a long form video. I have taken some parts of it and I'm gonna show it now so you can see what he had to say regarding this bout between the champion Islam Makhachev and the champ Volkanovski.
Pay-per-view experience, and Volk, honestly, 12-day Volk is more alluring in my eyes. You know what I mean? It's Makhachev, because Makhachev knows he's got nothing to lose, this guy.
Yeah.
I think the style in which Volk wins would dictate that. Pretty handed, then maybe not. But honestly, Volk's got a big hurdle in Makhachev to get over anyway, because he did technically lose to him the first fight.
The close friend of Khabib Nurmagomedov and Islam Makhachev, who is training with both of these fighters for a long time, and you know what I'm talking about, Daniel Cormier, the former UFC double weight class champion as well. He was the champion in the light heavyweight and the heavyweight division in the UFC. He was giving his thoughts on this bout between Islam and Volkanovski in Dubai, Abu Dhabi at UFC 294. What DC has to say about his teammate taking on Volkanovski.
Well, he took the fight on 10 days notice. What can you expect when you're fighting the number 2 pound-for-pound fighter in the world? That's why Islam said don't use it as an excuse. And Islam carries the same mindset. No matter who it is, I'm up to the challenge. Just somebody show up in Abu Dhabi. Obviously, he's one of my teammates, a guy that I've known for a long time. But my respect level for Alexander Volkanovski continues to grow, because this dude is a phenomenal fighter, but he's also just a great champion.
Another UFC lightweight fighter and the former Bellator lightweight champion Michael Chandler was also on the media day, where he talked about Makhachev versus Alexander, and Michael Chandler is on an incredible journey right now in the UFC. He's the first fighter who gets his debut, who gets this much fame, and he is on another level right now, but maybe he's improving as well. He has a chance to claim that lightweight belt when Khabib retired. This one was with Charles Oliveira when he lost this bout. But currently we are focusing on the fighter picks, so we're talking about later. Let's see what Chandler has to say.
Obviously, the selfish part of me says I don't want that to happen. I understand how it makes a ton of sense from a promoter standpoint, from the UFC standpoint. You got the number 1 pound for pound guy in the world versus the number 3 pound for pound guy in the world. But I also think that Islam has proved himself to be our champion. He is our champion, and we have to accept that. And I think he's a phenomenal talent. I think Volkanovski, of all the guys who would move up, a lot of times it's a guy who's at a weight class and then they move up because they're in their natural weight and they decide to give up weight. You got to remember, Volkanovski was 210 when he was playing rugby, so he carried that power down, he carried that size down, even though his actual fighting weight is 145. So I think he'll fare well. That's part of the reason why I look at that matchup, and as a fan, I'm like, I kind of want to see that matchup. I kind of want to see him come up, and we'll see how it shakes out. I think Volkanovski would do fine in that fight.
Dustin Poirier was also interested in Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. He was also talking about it, so we'll take a look at what the former UFC interim champion Dustin Poirier has to say about Islam versus Volk.
I don't know. That's a tough one to call.
Khabib Nurmagomedov is really confident in Islam Makhachev in this rematch because Islam Makhachev has a champion mentality, you know. The other day, Dana White was also talking about it and he was praising Islam Makhachev. Dana White told that when I sent him message that Volk is an opponent for you, he said, it doesn't matter. I'm the champion and I will fight the best. So we will hear from Khabib Nurmagomedov that what he think of this rematch.
But if they want Volk again, first fight it was very good, very competitive fight. But we know and they team know we win. Unanimous decision. It was not even split decision. It was unanimous decision. Yes, Volk was looking good on that fight, but he lose. And he knows, his team know, and all world know he lose. Okay, they wanna bring him again. Okay, bring. We're here. Islam almost on weight, on point. He's ready to go. We have 5 more hard days for training, and we're ready for Abu Dhabi. Inshallah, let's go.
At the end, Islam versus Volk another time, and this time it's a big one. The first time it was in his hometown, the Volkanovski's hometown, Australia, and this time it's Islam Makhachev's hometown. I mean, this is not his official hometown, but you know, it's a second hometown for Islam Makhachev because the support there for everybody is insane. But Islam Makhachev is going out there, and he was also talking about it before, but this time Islam claims that he will not let this fight goes to the distance, and Islam Makhachev is pretty more confident this time. And this time he is having an insane support from his close Khabib Nurmagomedov. And this time Khabib is also managing Islam in his training camp, so it will help Islam a lot. But you cannot hate Alexander Volkanovski. He showed this time that he is the champion, and Islam as well for taking this fight, and Volkanovski as well for stepping in for a late replacement on the short notice. You cannot discredit anyone, but we will see who is going to win this bout.